Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hollywood Sports. Guys, thank you for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it, guys. I don't take it lightly, man. I appreciate everybody that's clicking on this video. There's so many videos on YouTube, man. You guys just decided to check out Hollywood Sports. I really appreciate it. But, guys, what I want to talk about right now, I want to say that we're going to have more immersion and franchise mode. Now, listen to me now. We're going to have a lot more immersion, more enjoyment in franchise mode. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there wasn't a lot of changes with franchise mode. We still need an in-depth franchise mode. We still need a lot of improvement with franchise mode. But for what we have, I think we're going to have a really decent time in franchise mode as far as immersion. Now, we'll talk about more towards the end, the reason why. But let's talk about some aspects of why I think we're going to have a great immersion franchise mode this year, even though we haven't had too many changes. Okay, first of all, let's talk about, as you can see behind me, guys, let's talk about the ratings spread. I think the ratings spread may be one of the top 2, 3, at least in the top 5 improvements with Madden 20. I think it's innovative. I really think it's innovative when you talk about the ratings, how they thought about to spread the ratings out to improve gameplay, to make players seem different skill levels, different talent levels. Okay, and as you can see, guys, on the screen behind me, we have these are real rookies coming into Madden 20. And just imagine if you're doing your franchise mode, these are real rookies coming into your franchise, okay, coming into your organization that you drafted. Look at Vitus. I ain't gonna try to pronounce his last name, Vitus. He's a center for the LA Rams. His overall is a 52, guys, a 52. Awareness 54, speed 57, acceleration 75, agility 62, and his strength is 83. Pretty good strength for a rookie as a center. He's going to be on your offensive line, right? But he's an overall 52. Okay, now look at Kyle Sherman, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. You drafted him. Most likely, maybe you needed him for a third string quarterback coming in, because guys, I'm trying not to jump ahead of myself because this is some good stuff, man. We're gonna have some good immersion and franchise mode this year if you're a franchise player. Now Kyle Sherman's a 52, awareness 59, speed 75. I won't go through the whole thing, but he's got nice acceleration as a quarterback at 83. Now let's go to the bottom. Austin Cutting, a tight end for the Minnesota Vikings. He's an overall 38. Can you imagine having a 38 overall rating guy on your team? Awareness 52. These are real rookie ratings. I think it's very innovative for EA to do this, man. Real rookie ratings. Okay. Now, one thing I want to say though is you can't just focus on the overall. You have to focus on strengths. You have to focus on skill sets. Maybe this guy, let's say he's a tight end, he's overall 38, but maybe you like his strength. Maybe you like his acceleration at 76, agility at 77. Maybe you didn't draft him. And as y'all can see, guys, this light right here is coming through my window. The sun is going up and down. And while I'm on my computer, I'm facing the window. So I hope you guys can ignore that light right there. But that's okay, man. Well, anyway, we can't just focus on overalls anymore. We have to focus on strengths, skills, the players' abilities, their strengths, their weaknesses. We can't focus on overall. We got to build a team. We have to build an organization. But I really want to talk about the rating spread. I think we're really gonna have to focus on really building an organization. Okay, we're really gonna have to take our time to pick players. And one thing I want to talk about is when we talk about that is scouting, guys. As you see the board behind me, there was a scouting board right there. You see DeMarco Watford, free safety, 6'4", 215, a 6th round draft pick. He's projected to be in the 6th round. Pursuit of C, hit power C, tackle C. Not all that good, right? But this is Madden 19, guys. This is Madden 19. But I want to show you the scouting board. It's because we're going to really have to pay attention to scouting this year. Okay? Scouting is going to mean something now. We can't just fly through scouting and going through the motions, just a routine. Scouting is going to matter now because you're building a team, you're building an organization. You have to build depth. You have to build future stars. in your organization. When you drafting for the present, but you're also drafting for the future. And you can see these three free safeties right here. You look at their grades. You look at Pierce Fletcher, that's highlighted right there, another free safety, 6'1", 200 pounds. He's projected for the 7th round. Guys, we got to draft rounds 1 through 6, okay, or 7, or whatever it is. Some of these guys, like you see, Antoine Marion, not even projected to be drafted. But you see, when we go through scouting, guys, we have to scout right. It's gonna matter now, because you know, right now, routine, everybody just goes through routinely, just do their scouting, just to get somebody on your board, no problem. But I think it's gonna matter now, guys. Putting a good draft board is going to matter this year, okay? Because you will never have a depth or future talent and stars if you don't build your roster the right way, okay? And that's what I mean by the immersion factor. When you spread out the ratings like that, you have to find the right players, okay? Especially when we're talking about superstar abilities right now. They might not be superstars, but they could be future superstars with superstars abilities and X factors, okay? So I just want to talk about scouting is really going to matter. When you look at your offensive needs, your defensive needs, right? Your grades, your quarterback, like on the screen here, you see the quarterback is a C, halfbacks are D's, fullbacks are D's. Wide receivers are D's. You have to build those guys up. You have to build for the present and the future for scouting. And I think that's part of immersion, all because of the ratings spread, because of the superstar abilities, okay? Superstar X factors. And every player has abilities. It might not be X factor abilities, but a lot of players will have abilities, guys. So drafting 1 through 6 is going to matter. Drafting 1 through 6, rounds 1 through 6 is going to matter. Again, you're building for the present and you're building for the future. You have to draft guys with certain skills and ability, not just draft overalls. You can't just draft overalls anymore. You might draft a hell of a overall, but guess what? His awareness might suck. His speed might suck. His strength might suck. His agility might suck. Whatever, right? You know, you would think it because his overall is good, but you got to put your pieces together, right? You might not need a high overall backup center. You might need a center that's got a good block, that can block, pass block. You might want to say, okay, I need a center that can pass block, man. They're killing me up the middle. So you got to have those different skill guys, right? You might have a right tackle who's good with his feet, has good agility, but his overall is low. Or his run block might be low, but he has a good pass block. So we really have to put our teams together. And I think that's going to be more immersion when we're talking about abilities, and especially scheme fits. I'm kind of getting off track here. So you have to draft guys with certain skills and abilities, okay? And not just overalls. Because you can build your overalls through the training, your practices, when you build an XP, right? When you upgrading your players, you can get their overalls up. Or you can get certain aspects of their abilities up. Okay. You also really need to have scheme fits. I think scheme fits is going to be more important this year because of the abilities, because of the rating spread. Again, man, that rating spread, I'm so excited about it. Because if you're building for the future, you gotta have some depth. You got to have some guys that's coming up through the ranks, building up, getting better every year. And that's going to be the part of franchise mode. You're actually getting your players better. Man, this is going to be exciting, guys. This is going to be exciting because you got to get XP for those guys. You got to build the XP. You got to do their practice so you can work on your players and build your depth chart strength, okay? So I think you really have to have scheme fits. Players so you can't switch and keep switching team plays either. I don't think you can keep switching team playbooks and play scheme and team schemes, because once you start bringing your teams in through the draft or free agency or trades, you want them to fit your scheme, your team scheme, as far as defense and offense, and they got to be scheme fits. So if you keep changing your playbook every week, which we do in Madden right now, I'm gonna run with Green Bay playbook this week. I'm gonna run with Dallas playbook this week. Oh, I like Pittsburgh's defensive playbook. You're gonna throw everything off. So, and plus, you're not gonna have familiarity. You're not gonna be familiar and know the strengths and weaknesses of your offense or defense or your playbook or your schemes, right? We got to stick with the schemes we have and build our organization from there. NFL teams don't change their playbook every week. They don't change their schemes every week. They don't change that stuff up every week, guys. They stick with what they have. They may make improvements through their scheme, right, to their playbooks, but they don't change playbooks every week. So I think this is going to bring more immersion, because when you start drafting and trading for the type of players you want, your type of players, like John Gruden right now, for the Raiders, man. He's bringing in his kind of players. He's building his type of organization that he wants. He's bringing in his guys. Like college football, those coaches bring in their guys. They recruit their type of guys, their type of talent, guys that have a certain work ethic. So when we building our teams in franchise mode now, that's what I mean about the immersion factor. We got to bring in players that's going to fit how we want players to be. What kind of players we want in our organization. And that's what I'm talking about, immersion, guys. You got to guys that have a scheme fits, familiar with certain systems, and that's what I like about the immersion part, okay? And so you really have to do your scouting now. You can't just go through the motions and just do scouting and say, okay, I did my scouting, got me a scouting board, and all I really want is my fast wide receiver. We can't do that anymore. We got to draft for the present and the future. Okay. Now, also, player contracts are really going to matter, guys, when it comes to years and the amount of these contracts. Because normally you just renew the guy's contract and it's done. But now, when we talking about the scenario engine, are these guys really going to be worth their contracts? What if he doesn't perform like you thought he was going to perform? Maybe you go, well, we drafted this guy, man, but he ain't working out. He ain't getting better. He's not working out. So when it comes to his contract, you might say, hey, we got to let this guy go. We're going to put this guy on the trading block. All this stuff is becoming more immersive now. You have a reason to put somebody on a trading block. You have a reason to draft a guy. You have the reason to cut somebody and say he's not working. We made a bad choice. We thought his skill set was going to work, but now we figure out it's not going to work. So let's put him on the trade block. Let's see if we can get somebody for him. See, now we're bringing in immersion, guys, and it's all because the scenario engine making these guys happy. Maybe it don't fit the situation. He didn't turn out to be the right. Maybe you drafted him and say, well, he's not a scheme fit, but I like his agility, right? So when you make like they said in the beginning, guys, there's gotta be some consequences to your decisions in your organization, in your franchise mode. There has to be some consequences. You either win or you lose. You make a good decision or a bad decision. There has to be consequences. And so that's what I mean by the immersion factor, guys. When it comes to contracts and stuff like that, free agency, we got to make these guys happy. They got to make fits. We got to give them the kind of money they want. And I wish they get to the point where we actually talk to their agents. Because right now we're talking to the players. We're dealing with the players that say, oh yeah, I like this contract. I'm happy to stay. No, we need to talk to their agents, guys. So I hope they eventually get that into franchise mode. Like I said, right now, franchise mode really hasn't have a lot of improvements, but I still think we can have a really good immersion factor right now. Okay, and it's all because of the scenario engine. It's going to play a big role in how we develop our organizations. That's immersion, guys. And I think it's innovative when we got the rating stretch, the rating spread. Now we have this scenario engine. So if the scenario engine works perfectly, guys, I think that's going to bring more immersion into franchise mode, because it's going to matter how we treat a guy. It's going to matter how many years we give a guy and he's not happy. Stuff like that. It's going to matter your going over the cap. The amount of money you got to spend on a guy. Can you really afford him? Stuff like that. It's going to bring more immersion, guys, when we talk about the scenario engine and making these guys happy. And I think with making all these decisions, it's going to add immersion through our franchise when we're making these kind of decisions, dealing with player personnel and stuff like that. Because I think what's really going to bring in the immersion, guys, one is the superstar abilities. The superstar abilities. We have to match guys. We have to find guys with certain abilities. Now, I don't know how that's going to work as far as scouting this year in Madden 20. Are we going to be able to see abilities? Are we going to see possible abilities? Or is that going to open up after they maybe have 2 or 3 years into the league? Then we can say, okay, oh, we developed this. Now he has this kind of ability. He has block shed ability, or he has catching traffic ability. See, once we find out what these abilities, guys, when we're drafting and recruiting, when we're drafting, I think it's going to be very important. What if we got a guy that abilities we don't want? What if we have too many guys with the same ability, right? We have to make the right decisions, just like a GM or owner or a coach making decisions throughout the organization. The second thing I think is going to really is that rating spread, man. I can't say this enough, guys. The rating spread is going to bring immersion into our organization, into our franchise. And finally, the scenario engine is going to be it, I think. I think the scenario engine is really going to bring immersion to our franchise mode, because we have to be responsible about the decisions we make. Right now, Madden 19, you can make a decision. You ain't going to suffer. You ain't going to gain. It's just a guy you put into the system. No immersion. No immersion. Now, if you bring him in and let's say whatever you do and he ain't happy. That's the part I like. And hopefully the immersion with the scenario engine, you get offers from other teams, especially offensive coordinator can say, we work with so-and-so, and he's just not working out. Maybe we should, he's told us in the locker room he wants to be traded, or he wants to go to the Green Bay Packers or whatever. I'm just hoping that's how the scenario engine works. But I think when the rating spread, guys, the scenario engine and their superstar abilities is what's going to immerse us and making the right decisions. I think that's what all the immersion is going to come from, is how we make decisions in our organization, in our franchise. Okay, guys? So we still can make franchise fun, even though we didn't have a lot of changes. And I'm glad that scenario engine is it. But to me, the innovation is the rating spread. Because you're going to have guys that need to develop. They need you got to go to practice. A lot of people skip practice. I skip practice. We got to go to practice. We got to listen to the offensive coordinator and talk about what type of plays we need to run. All right? And how we're going to get certain people the ball. How we're going to stop certain people. How we're going to stop these superstar abilities. What kind of schemes are we going to run on defense for that week? So I think all this stuff is really going to matter now. Instead of just going through it blase, just going through the motions of franchise mode, and then we just want to hurry up and get to the games. I think every decision we make in franchise mode this year, scouting, free agency, building your scouting board, the draft, all that stuff is going to matter this year at Madden NFL 20. And I think the gameplay is going to be beautiful because of the rating spread. You're going to really, and what I mean by really building the team, guys, because when you bring in guys that's an overall 38, those guys are going to be on your team. Well, now that we have the rating spread, you're going to have guys in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s overalls. And they're not going to be good enough. You got to build them up. And that's why you got to go to practice. You got to get them some XP. You got to have some pre-practices. You got to do all that stuff to get these guys built up, because you're big in an organization. When you have guys retire, guys that want to be traded, guys that get hurt, you need a strong depth chart. There's going to be some injuries, guys. There's going to be some injuries, so you need a deep, strong depth chart, right? You got to have some guys capable backups. You got to have some third string backups. These guys got to be developed. They got to perform. Next man up, right? Next man up. So that's the immersion, guys. That's the immersion. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Hey, man, I'm ready for Madden 20. I'm tired of all the talk, guys. I'm just ready to go. I hope you guys are ready to go. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Join the team of Hollywood Sports, man. I think we're going to have a fun time with Madden this year. And as always, hopefully, I will see everybody on my next video. Thanks for watching.